Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Sleuth Intuition channel. This is True Crime in the Morning. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. My friends call me Sleuth. Today we are looking at the missing persons case of David Schultz. Now, David lives in Wall Lake, Iowa, and it is David John Schultz. He would be 53 years old, born September 1970, was reported missing November 21st, 2023 at 2:30 p.m. And we will get going on this case in just about 10 minutes. It's good to see everybody. Let's go to Bobby's comment. I live in this area and my husband is a truck driver, so this is worrisome to me. Thank you for covering this. Yeah, it's my pleasure. We're always talking about truck drivers and the reports that come from the FBI talking about all of these bodies that are being found on the highways. I think it was over 500 unsolved murders they believe are serial murders. Most of their suspects are truck drivers. And I said, well, not all truck drivers are serial killers, right? They're not all criminals. Some are victims as well. So I thought it was important to cover this case. Can't get lost in the statistics of everything all the time. Good to see you, Brad. Yeah, this one's real recent. And there's another strange case. Mark Edward Reisberg. Well, he went missing just before David Schultz went missing. And while they were looking for David, they found Mark. And there's so much mystery surrounding Mark Edward Reisberg's death. I mean, it literally gave me a headache. They found him in his vehicle with a single gunshot wound. And they refused to say if it was self-inflicted, how long was he there when they found him. Because if you got a guy missing like David Schultz, and then you have another guy, Mark Reisberg, with an apparent self-inflicted wound, couldn't they be related? Law enforcement, the information they've given to the public is they don't believe it's related, but they have to say that, right? If they don't have any factual information that says these two crimes are related, they cannot say that they have to say that to the public. These are not related, in our opinion. Now, behind the scenes, they could be looking into it very heavily and considering it. Good to see you, Wanda. Ziggy, what's up? Thank you. Good to see you, GP, Beth, Amelia. You got some questions? Let me know. Having some technical issues with my camera, so we are off camera today. No biggie. The show goes on. The show must continue. All right, let me pull up some of these images here of David. Now, David comes from a very loving family. They are missing him dearly. His wife's name, I believe, is Sarah. And she is all over the media trying to get his story out there and trying to get some answers for him. I mean, this is one of those mind-melting mysteries, right? It's the story, the same old story. Cell phone, wallet left behind. In his case, they even found a jacket in the ditch and I think his pocket knife next to it. And we know people don't just vanish. Something happened. And we are going to get into this story here in just a few minutes. So there's David Schultz right there. Now, the information tip line is in the description of this video. So at any point you're watching this video and you say, hey, I was in Iowa around November 21st, 2023, around, between the 20th and the 21st, and I saw this guy. If that's you, just call that number and let them know. Even if you're like, yeah, well, I saw him, but what can I tell them? Anything. The smallest thing can help. Ziggy with super sticker. Thank you, Ziggy. So we are sponsored today. Appreciate you, Ziggy. Good to see you, V Marie. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. No, that's awesome. Thank you. Just your participation in the chat is amazing. Okay, so what happened to David Schultz? He stopped. Here, let me pull up a map actually. Might help explain this a little bit. And I got a bunch of media videos that we're going to watch and two really long articles. So we're going to cover all of the facts in this case. Alrighty. So David is a truck driver. He's picking up a load of hogs, pigs, whatever you want to call them, from Eagle Grove. Now, the last time he was seen on camera, I believe, was at a truck stop, excuse me. Better yet, a truck stop. Don't mind my speech impediment. So right here, now on the map, they don't have it on the map, but if you go to the street view on Google, it's there and it's under construction and it says coming soon. And that was posted September of 2022. So the time of his disappearance, it was up and running and appears to be one of the only truck stops within a few miles of this area. So he stops here, and we'll take a closer look at all of this too as we go along. Last place he's seen here. So I'm wondering if he picked up a hitchhiker or something here. Now, this is where the other gentleman was found, Mark Reisberg. And Mark, now notice where Mark was found in an abandoned, on an abandoned property with a self-inflicted gunshot wound in like a silver goldish PT Cruiser. Not sure what was going on with Mark. God rest his soul, I believe. And we're going to cover his case too a little bit today. And we're going to hear from, I think it was his sister. And she seems to be missing him quite a bit. Now, this is where David's truck was found. So I just find it really odd that the proximity here and how close these are. And they're not giving us a clear idea of what actually happened here to Mark. So now remember, they got two missing people. And while they're urgently looking for him because they found his vehicle, right? Law enforcement thought Mark just left. But they're urgently looking for David because they found his vehicle, wallet, phone, and kind of like signs of a struggle. And tracking dogs tracked his scent, a couple hundred yards up the road. So they definitely think something bad happened. So they're frantically looking for him. And while they're looking for him, they're also looking for this other guy, but not really as much. But they find him. So you have David coming down, I believe it would be the 20, and he was going into Sac City here. So the reason I think that he may have picked up a hitchhiker, maybe somebody not necessarily going to Sac City, but it's on the way. And David says, "Well, I can take you as far as Sac City. That's where my load is." Right? He would get off the freeway, and this is the only area you can get off. I think right here is like a on or off ramp. So he would have gotten off here somewhere. And then that's when the person most likely pulled a gun on him. Maybe even had another person waiting over here in a field with the vehicle. So I don't know. They found his jacket. Let's see. Let's get going here. I think we'll start with this article, but let me finish with these photos here of David. That way we can get his face out there. Here's another view. That's his wife, Sarah, and his kids. I think that's his pops right there. I think we're going to hear from him. They interview him locally in one of the videos we're going to watch. Let's see. Amelia says, "What's so weird is how David was traveling in the opposite direction of his scheduled destination." Well, not really. Let's pull that back up. Let me go back to that map. So what it looks like to me here. So David's truck is found here. His drop off is here at Sac City. So right where his truck is found. Actually, let me do you guys one better. Let's go ahead and take a look at the street view here. I have these all bookmarked, so they're ready to go. Okay, so Wall Lake, that's where he's from. Small little town. It's like a cute little town, actually. It's a lot like Delphi. Just bear with me. I got multiple maps I'm pulling up here. Okay, let's start here. Okay, now this is the location where they found his truck. I think like right up here is where they found it. So it was parked on either, I think, the right side of the road. Doors were closed, lights were off, wallet inside, cell phone inside the truck. And just across the street, they found his jacket right here in this ditch, along with, I believe, a pocket knife and maybe another item. Thank you so much, Amelia. We have another super sticker. So today's live stream is going to be sponsored by Amelia Lavender, and Ziggy 1967. Thank you, guys. Yeah, this is very strange. Look at this. Just farmland for miles. Now, somebody lured him here. The reason I think that is because the dogs, they tracked his scent, I believe, right here. Now, if his jacket's on the ground and his pocket knife is here, it's like he grabbed the knife for some reason. Maybe somebody was taking something or pulling him out of the truck. Didn't even have time to put on his jacket, grab his knife, drop that. And then dragged him over here to a vehicle. But why? Why the hell would they do that? He did, and the thing is he carried a lot of cash on him. He had $2,000 in cash. He would always take the cash out whenever he was going out on the road. Now, to me, I was thinking, well, if you're a truck driver, you're not always going to have service out on the highway, right? So I don't know if you might have problems using your credit card. Or, I don't know. Maybe it's just easier. You got a mechanic. He shows up. Boom. Here's the cash. Thank you for fixing my truck. I'm back on the road. I actually wanted to ask any of you truck drivers out there if you knew what that was all about. Is that normal? Okay, let's zoom out so you guys have a better idea where this location really is. So right here, N14 and D15. So right where these intersect. And the area that I was showing you is basically like right here, I think. Okay, now let's follow N14 back down to the highway. If you notice, it's the only place you can get off right here. Connie Hill says, my son is a truck driver and never carries cash. See, I thought that was strange, but his wife reported to her that was normal. He always carried a $2,000 in his wallet. Now, remember, they didn't take it. So did they think he had it on him? And when they took him, they're like, damn it, we didn't get his wallet. Okay, now Sac City's just right here. That's where he would be getting off. All right. So if he picked up a hitchhiker, he's like, I can take you as far as Sac City. I'll drop you off right here. Unless there's some, I don't know, he might be better off in Sac City if he's trying to get a ride. Maybe he told him, oh, I live right here. Or simply, drop me off right here. But instead of going into Sac City, he says, go right with the gun to his head. You're going to take a right up here. Like, what the hell? What's going on? And then gets to about right here, I believe it is. Somewhere around here. I want to say right here. Right in this area. And I think they had a vehicle parked already, waiting maybe. Maybe they followed him. Phil, Rick, welcome in. The only way he would have been able to start a new life is if he had an unknown cell phone to line up his escape. However, I find that unlikely, but not as unlikely as the other scenarios. I mean, it is rare, but people do that. But why? I just don't see why he would do that. All right, let's tell the story here. Now, this article is kind of long winded, but I selected these two just based on the fact that they are filled with factual information and just case info, really. All right, this one's from the Gazette by Dolly Butts, and she's with the Sioux City Journal. She posted this December 18th, was published. Bobby, her husband is a truck driver, says, my husband doesn't carry cash. So are you guys saying that's very strange? Because to Sarah here on the screen, that was normal. But to me, it stood out. I was thinking gambling, drugs, prostitution. So I don't know. You know, people don't just vanish. Something happened. There was a recipe for this. And we don't want to speak ill, but we got to try to figure out what the hell is going on. You know, and I'm sure he had some secrets from his wife, maybe a little snifferooski. I don't know what kind of. I feel like if I was a truck driver, I might be pressured to do like hard stuff, something that keeps me awake. And I know there's laws and restrictions against that for truck drivers, but I don't know. I always, for some reason, there's a stigma about that. So, all you truck drivers or wives of truck drivers, um, tell us what's going on here. Let us know. So, here's the jacket, very similar to this. Um, the jacket that was found in the ditch next to the truck across the street. So, the way the crime scene or the scene kind of the story that it tells me is he left his truck in a hurry and possibly under duress. Hey, what's up, CJK? All right, let's hear. Let me read this photo description. Sarah Schultz holds a coat similar to the one found near her husband's abandoned truck at her home in Wall Lake. David Schultz has been missing since November 21st, when his semi-trailer truck was found on Sac City Road, North 14, with a load of pigs inside. I mean, what the hell? I mean, if he was just going to take off, why even pick up the pigs? Like, why? All right, I'm going to go pick up a load. And then you're gone. Why are you going to go do more damage by picking up these pigs just to abandon them? No, you had to think that the pigs were just going to, well, I guess he knew that somebody would find them, and they did find it within a day. So I don't know. What's up, Devoted? Men fall asleep easily, though, and they're usually truckers. Yeah, that's scary. That is very scary. Yeah, you can't push those types of things. If you're feeling drowsy, you just cannot be driving. Because, I mean, when your eyes get heavy, you're like, oh, wow, my eyes are getting heavy. One of those times, they're just not going to open back up, and then you're going to veer off the road. Meth. I just don't know. Like, what would happen? I wonder if David picked up hitchhikers. You know, I feel like I would pick up hitchhikers, especially if I'm doing a long haul. I mean, this wasn't the longest of hauls, but it was long enough. I mean, geez, how bored can you get? And apparently, this was a load that he wanted to get out of the way. He had family coming. He had family coming into town. He was anxious. He wanted to knock this out and then come right back. All right, let's read this article here. On Thursday morning, in Sarah Schultz's eat-in kitchen, two pairs of muddy children's hiking boots lay scattered on the wood floor underneath a green chalkboard. Printed in big dusty letters on the chalkboard was the message, "Bring Dave home." Sarah's brown eyes widened as she looked beyond a lit white artificial Christmas tree through glass patio doors. As she stood, she leaned forward and a serious expression washed across her face. For a moment, she thought she saw her husband outside, but the man wearing a cowboy hat in a neighbor's driveway wasn't David Schultz. Last month, the 53-year-old Wall Lake truck driver and father of 10-year-old twin boys disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Man, that's a nice looking truck. His boys, Joseph and Isaac. So you're just going to leave your boys? I just don't see that. I mean, it's possible, right? His red Peterbilt semi-trailer truck with white stripes was found the afternoon of November 21st, parked in the middle of the northbound lane of Country Road North N-14, not far from where it intersects with D15 in northeastern Sac County. So those are the cross streets that I showed you guys on the map. The trailer he rents was loaded with pigs, but David was nowhere to be found on that stretch of paved roadway, which is flanked by cornfields. A number of farms are visible from all directions, along with wind turbines off to the east. Let's go to the comments here. I live around 60 miles northeast of where he disappeared. It's got me extremely interested in how odd this is. If it happened in a populated area, it wouldn't be so hard to believe there was an altercation. Exactly. So, Phil, that's why I'm thinking something happened at the truck stop. Either he picked up a hitchhiker, um, picked up somebody for whatever reason, and then they robbed him. They tried to rob him, and maybe they did. Who knows? Maybe they had other reasons. Meth clears out of the system clearly or quickly. So that might be one of choice. Bobby says, my husband is drug tested all the time by his company. So these comments kind of go hand in hand. I know that white powdery stuff doesn't stay around too long, like 2 days. I know athletes get away with that quite often. Ziggy, my dad was a truck driver and he always had cash. It depends on the person, I guess. Yeah, exactly. You have some people who can't stand cell phones, and then you have some people who can't get off of them. But he was a truck driver before there were debit cards. Yeah, I wonder if that has to do with it. It's like an old habit. You know, maybe that's what's going on here with David, carrying that old habit. All right, let's continue. Well, let's read a couple more comments here. More Tive, hello. Sarah said he never let anyone in his truck ever. Damn. I wonder if somebody convinced him. I wonder if somebody saw him taking out cash or something. Like, what the hell happened to him? Where is David Schultz? Where are you, David? And if something bad happened to him, somebody knows. All right. And this is in quotations. I want my husband. It's exhausting. It's awful, Sarah said, sobbing. as she clutched a plaid flannel shirt jacket that belongs to him. A similar jacket was found in a ditch on the side of the road opposite to David's truck. She gave him that jacket last Christmas. Since David went missing, the United Cajun Navy and Louisiana based nonprofit and volunteers have scoured more than 100,000 acres in and around Sac County. And I believe it was this UCN that found Mark Reisenberg. So while they were looking for David, they found the other gentleman. On a recent weekend, the twins, Joseph and Isaac, donned blazed orange vests and headed into the golden brown fields to search for their dad. Sarah said her sons are attending trauma counseling sessions. She said she hasn't really seen the boys cry, but when her eyes well up, she said Isaac brings her a box of tissues and dries her tears. Damn, that's sad. Joseph is real quiet. I don't know what they know. I don't even know. Is he alive or is he dead? I don't know, she said. That's got to be torture. Sac County Sheriff Ken McClure told the Journal he is confident his office in the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation will eventually solve the case. He said, investigators haven't ruled anything out. We're going to run this out until we just can't run it anymore. Until we can either find out what happened to David or where he's at and bring him home and give some answers, said McClure, who acknowledged there's a chance David had a medical episode and his body hasn't just been found yet. However, he emphasized the area where David's semi was found was searched at least 3 times. And it's not like it's a wooded area. It's not like it's a mountainous, I don't know, is ravenous a word? Like full of ravines, there's no canyons. So if he was in that area, he definitely would have been found. I mean, they found this other guy, a complete other person who was missing. They found him. So I believe if anything was going to be found, it was found. Remember, dogs tracked his scent to like a parking area, some kind of pull off. CJK, it's odd to disappear like this. Did he have any known mental health issues? Did he stop to help someone and they abducted him? I mean, somebody had to have taken him, right? But leaving his wallet behind is odd, in my opinion. Very strange. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. To me, why did he pull off to the right? He should have got off the highway and took a left. So for him to take a right, it tells me that somebody forced him to do that. So I'm wondering, maybe even the criminal lives in Sac City. Like, I can walk from here. But I have a feeling there was a vehicle nearby. Might have been set up. Another question, did Mark Reisberg hurt himself? Is this connected? Did the same people hurt Mark? V. Marie says, very well could have been a robbery. Maybe somebody scoped him out at the last stop. Wonder if any weird shit was caught on the DOT cameras. Yeah, that's a good point. If he's got all this cash in his wallet, somebody standing behind him sees him. Maybe it made him a mark. What's up, Chopper? What are you up to, my friend?
Get to the chopper!
Welcome in, everybody. Violet, good to see you. CJK says, but his wallet was there, nothing missing. That doesn't make any sense either. I think the truck stop or the pig farm, he picked up the load. Yeah, I forgot about the pig farm. Somebody just saying, hey, can you give me a lift to Sac? Sure. And then right on the turnoff, they say, don't go left. I need you to take a right here. Like, what are you doing, man? I was being nice to you. I don't care. Shut up. Keep driving. Something like that. But why? Why not take his wallet? Crazy. Welcome in, Secret Justice. Welcome, Lay Sleuth. Welcome in. Says, this case has me baffled. Yeah. I mean, this is one of those cases that will get you really frustrated because usually you're like, okay, this is probably what most likely happened. This is what we will most likely expect. And if we keep digging or as time goes on, these are the facts that will most likely come up or be revealed. But this one, it's like absolutely none of that is going on. I don't know which direction to lean. To me, it definitely seems like foul play. Like, why was his jacket out there? He didn't take his wallet. All the cases that we cover, it's always the purse is left behind and the cell phone is left behind. Sometimes even the pet, their dog, just sitting there with the leash. People do not just vanish. It does not happen. I know you think maybe aliens came and zapped them up, in a bright blue beam of light. That's not what happened. Somebody came and took them. They had a mental health situation and they're lost and they can't be found. Or they did something to themselves. Phil says the only way he would have been able to start a new life is if he had an unknown cell phone. Okay, I think I'm way up too high. Let me go back down here. The wallet left in the truck isn't too odd because a lot of truckers clear their back pockets for comfort. Yeah, I don't sit with my wallet either. That'll cause you some issues with your hips and things like that. So I think most people do take out their wallets. But if he was going to leave, I mean, think about it. Why is he leaving $2,000 in cash if he's walking away from his life? It's not like it's a credit card. So he left it. Unless he wanted it to make it look like somebody abducted him. In order to make it look like somebody abducted him, he needs to pick up the pigs, right? He needs to throw his jacket over here. But there were some rumors that he took a plane from Minneapolis to Arizona and may have crossed the border. But the FBI and they've debunked all of that. It's been debunked. Motive. That's what I'm saying. Motive or motive. Motive. $2,000 in cash has me too. Yeah, it's very strange. A lot of money. But it's a lot of money to get that expensive truck fixed, I don't know. And I know they have those mobile mechanics that just kind of show up. I just don't know enough about that game or that business to really say that's strange. So I wanted to get your guys' opinion about that. So I appreciate that. Phil says, I find it hard to believe David shut the truck off. Truckers don't do that until the day is done. But how does someone stop a truck? But why did he turn the wrong way to begin with? Exactly. Somebody made him. It's like, all right, I can take you as far as Sac City, and then I'll drop you off right there, and you can finish hitchhiking or walking, continuing your way. Nope, not today, buddy. Keep driving. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Violet sounds like he may have been abducted, but leaving his wallet is very odd. Yeah, very strange. Like, what is motivating somebody to do this to somebody? Usually it's money. So why did you just leave a whole bunch of money behind? Could have been an accident. But why wouldn't you? You're obviously not alone, right? You got somebody waiting in a vehicle and you're hijacking this person. So once you have the person secured in the vehicle, wouldn't the other person go in and inspect the inside of the truck? Sarcastic, welcome. If I was being forcefully taken, I'd want to leave signs of distress behind as a clue. Yeah, that's smart. Kind of grabbing the jacket on the way out and just kind of throwing it on the ground. Or what if, wow, I don't know. I don't want to get into a bunch of what ifs right now, but my mind just, but those wheels are starting to turn. Gas, food. CJK, walking away or being abducted. At some point, you think he'd be seen, a body found. Yeah, if it was a mental health, I think he would have been found already. I think somebody took him. Chopper, that's a good point. Road rage gone wrong. A little scuffle. This person hurts him and then takes him. But there was no reports of any signs of anything like that. All right, let's continue on here. Sarah has repeatedly called her husband's disappearance suspicious. She has expressed frustration with local law enforcement and said she feels the case is more than small town police can handle. They need help, she said. I want the FBI. It's been long enough. McClure, who has been in law enforcement for more than 36 years, has served as sheriff for 20, said his office receives several tips a day about David's case. He said every tip is vetted. We're going to listen to this guy, McClure. I'm not sure if I like him that much. I don't like his dismissive attitude. He refuses to bring in the FBI, and he acts like he has everything under control. And he talks a lot of trash about online sleuths, and I get that. But I think you would want as much attention and as much help as you could get, right? I don't like that stubborn attitude when it comes to missing people. Like your ego there's no place for your ego when somebody's missing and the family is mourning that loss. I mean, his two twin boys, imagine how confused they are. Like, where's my dad? Imagine waking up in the morning and that's the first thing you think about. Like, where is my dad? If that doesn't kill you inside, nothing ever will. This is in quotes. I don't mean to sound critical, but we're getting a whole bunch of keyboard detectives and Perry Masons. You see that bullshit out here who are like, well, did you check this? Well, did you? Damn it. Did you? It's a simple yes or no. This isn't day one, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And all of us who followed the Delphi investigation, we know these guys were screwing up from day one. So I don't care if it's day 100. That's 100 days that you guys cannot be doing what you should be doing. You work for the public. You work for the citizens of Iowa, and they have one of their own missing. It is your duty to answer to them. This is the bullshit that pisses me off right here. This isn't day one, if you know what I mean. No, I don't know what you mean, buddy. He said, what we're trying to do is prioritize them. Things that we know we can already dispute go in one pile. Oh, it's that simple, huh? I wonder if that's how you get a lost tip narrative, right? Things that are just absolutely ludicrous and absurd go into another, and then the ones we think are valuable. Wow, you got quite the system there, buddy. How about you just go through each of them one by one? Why don't you try that? McClure said the FBI isn't involved in the case, but he said that doesn't mean that down the road it won't be asked to assist. He said there is no indication a federal crime was committed. Well, how do you know? He's a truck driver. Maybe he came in contact with other truck drivers. You know, they are known for going over state lines. That reckless. The division of criminal investigation and their resources are just as capable. Oh, we got this, right? It's that attitude. Oh, we got this. We don't need them meddling in our investigation. We are just as capable of getting the information we need, and really, we're looking for the proverbial needle in a haystack. Whatever happened to Occam's razor and all of that stuff? And, oh, it's a needle in a haystack, so we're not going to do anything. We're just going to sit back and wait for that tip. Frustrating. Desperate for answers, Sarah reached out to 2 psychics at the suggestion of friends. So she doesn't want to talk to psychics. Who the hell wants to talk to a psychic? Right? This is desperation. The first psychic, whom she spoke with over the phone, said her husband is being kept in the corner of a room and at that time was alive but weak. The second psychic sat at Sarah's kitchen table and while holding one of her husband's orange hunting hats, said he was hit in the back of the head before being placed in a moving body of water. Okay. So are these psychics both right? I mean, what the freak? Where's David? David's missing persons case has attracted the attention of locals and online sleuths worldwide. The theories they've posted on true crime forums and social media pages have run the gamut from a medical episode to a cartel related kidnapping. While some think he was murdered, others surmise he simply walked away from his life. That sounds pretty accurate. It's got to be one of those, right? Colin Gertsdorf, who lives in Denison and has been a truck driver since 1994, said there's a lot of people talking about it. There's just a lot of things that just don't quite line up, right, with the whole deal. Gerstorff said, standing outside Casey's on the outskirts of Early, he held a slice of pizza in one hand and a disposable coffee cup in the other, not far from where the regional grain truck he drives was parked. Gerstorff, who knows the man David rents his trailer from, said he thinks local truckers' wives are more rattled about the case than the drivers are. They're probably used to that. It's a little sus. The baffling circumstances surrounding David's disappearance have only continued to fuel wild speculation. Initially, the Sac County Sheriff's Office revealed little about the investigation. Let's go to the chat. V. Marie, no, they don't want any help from the FBI. They got this. And we're going to watch an interview with this guy. What's his name? McClure? Violet says him pulling over the wrong side and then turning his truck off is very strange. Like somebody was telling him to do that. Phil, Sleuth, can you Google Earth the turnoff where he should have turned left? Yeah, we did just have that up, but I do have it. So basically the only spot that you can get off the highway to get into Sac is 71, right? There's no off ramps anywhere else. So he would have gotten off right here on Union Avenue, which is also the street he was found on, which is N-14 North 14. So let's go take a look at this intersection. So he was supposed to go this way, right under this overpass here. But instead, he went this direction. Motive, never even dusted for prints. I don't get why. Yeah, what the hell? He goes, yeah, that stuff works on the movies. And then he called online sleuths Perry Masons. Like, what the hell's wrong with this? I don't like this guy. Yeah, McClure. I've made up my mind. I don't like him. Now, if he was generating results and giving us updates and proving that he's on this case, that would be different. But he's like, oh, you guys don't know what I'm doing behind the scenes. It's official. I don't like him. Let's keep going here. On December 9th. Oh, I'm going too far. Hold on. Okay, the baffling circumstances surrounding David's disappearance have only continued to fuel wild speculation. Initially, the Sac County Sheriff's Office revealed little about the investigation. In a Facebook post dated November 22, the day after David's truck was found, the Sheriff's Office asked property owners in the northeastern portion of Sac County to check their land and outbuildings for anything out of the ordinary. Then, nearly a week after he went missing, the Woodbury County Sheriff's Office issued a statement dispelling any connection between his disappearance and information circulating on social media about a November 27th traffic stop. See, and I couldn't find anything about this, but this is interesting. Circulating on social media about a November 27th traffic stop near Highway 20, a 31-year-old North Sioux City man who was reportedly driving recklessly near Mobile was arrested for possession of cocaine. Right? Remember, that was kind of part of that theory. And felon in possession of a firearm. There is no evidence or indication that this traffic stop has any connection to the missing driver referred to in the post. The suspect's nationality has nothing to do with the case, and all suspects are presumed innocent until proven guilty. On December 9th, McClure released a detailed account of the hours before David disappeared. He noted that David was not the same David Schultz who had a one-way flight booked from Minneapolis to Phoenix late that afternoon, November 21st. He also said David had not legally gone through the U.S. border crossing. And there's just no way you can tell that. There's just no way to know. All he needs to do is put on a hat, a hoodie, and walk across the border. They don't check anybody walking into Mexico. You're free to walk right over. You can walk over and have dinner and walk right back. They'll check your driver's license and they'll say, are you a U.S. citizen? You'll say, yep. And they'll be like, all right, come on over. So all he has to do is walk across that border with his head down, and he's in Mexico and gone forever. According to McClure, a Sac County secondary roads employee called in David's truck at 3:04 p.m. November 21st after it was discovered parked on the traveled portion of the road. The truck was shut off, the lights were off, and the key was in the ignition. That's interesting. Deputies found David's wallet and cell phone inside. McClure said a towel, cell phone charger, and pocket knife were found with the coat on the opposite side of the road. See, now that's very strange. McClure said a towel. What do you need a towel for? It's almost like maybe somebody needed help with the vehicle. Cell phone, charger, and pocket knife were found with the coat. Like, what does he need his charger for? So he can plug it in to this person's vehicle. I don't know. What the hell? Pocket knife, maybe for protection, or was using it as a tool. I don't know. Maybe he was lured by a female. Oh, I locked myself out of my car. Where at? Up the street. I walked all the way over here. Gets to the vehicle. notices his phone is about to die, takes the charger, grabs his jacket, shuts off his vehicle, leaves all his stuff in there, goes to help this person with the vehicle, and gets jumped. I mean, I don't know. Because of time, we're going to read, we're probably going to skip the rest of this article and go right into the media reports. Let's just play them all.
For a missing Iowa man is rising. 53-year-old David Schultz has not been seen
Can you
or
guys hear
heard
this?
from for more than 2 months. Tonight, his family is still holding out hope for his safe return. And federal money is being offered to help find Schultz.
KCCI's Bo Bowman went to Sac City today to talk to Schultz's parents.
The county attorney and sheriff both approached the county supervisors and requested that this reward fund
Hey,
of
Sparky.
$25,000 be created that could be given to anybody who comes forward with information that could lead them to Schultz.
So hopefully something will happen.
Elmer and Janet Schultz can do nothing but wait.
It's a little disheartening sometimes. It's
Waiting for their son to come home. David Schultz was last seen on November 20th. His semi-truck hauling pigs was found abandoned in the middle of a rural highway with his phone and wallet inside.
It's just awful. It don't get any better with time.
Volunteers searched more than 100 acres, but found no signs of the missing man from Wall Lake.
Somebody knows something, and I don't know why. Nobody could figure out what happened to him.
County officials had previously offered a $2,000 reward for information. The supervisors recently chipped in $25,000 more with American Rescue Plan Act funding, money given to the county by the federal government. That reward would expire in November, but Elmer and Janet Schultz hope it's enough money to convince someone to come forward.
waiting and just trying to hope something happens good, something that we can put our faith on.
If you have any information on Schultz's whereabouts, you're asked to contact the Sac County Sheriff's Department.
That number is in the description. Man, they really need like a solid tip. That's it. An anonymous tip even. Thank you, Sparky. Welcome in, by the way. Thank you, Phil. Like a shop rag, something that you would use maybe if you were getting greasy on your hands, right? I wonder if he could have been maybe checking anything before he went into town. I don't know. I really want to hear from all you truckers out there. If you guys are part of the replay crew, please comment below and let us know what you think. Give us your opinions. Why he may have pulled off before going into town, why he would have done some of these things, or if you could help make sense of some of his movements and what you think might have happened. An altercation. Did he drop off the pigs before he went missing? No. They found the truck the following day with the pigs still in it. So that's who originally reported him missing, was the place where he was dropping the pigs off at in Sac City. They called his wife and said, "Hey, where's David? He hasn't made his delivery yet." And that's when she panicked. Marie says, I just read something saying that law enforcement doesn't believe a federal crime was committed, so they don't want the FBI. What the fuck does that even mean? Exactly. I don't know what that means. Actually, let's listen to the Sac County Sheriff. Here's an interview with him.
Tips a day.
Okay.
This is from SCJ. This guy's very smug. Do better, McClure. Do better.
most are, I don't want to say it, most are things that we've already done or thought of. You know, it's and I don't mean this disparaging or to
Yes,
sound
you do.
critical, but we're getting a whole bunch of keyboard detectives and a whole bunch of Perry Masons out here that are like, well, did you check this? Well, this isn't day one of this, you know what I mean? So there's just a lot of that stuff. What we're trying to do is prioritize them. And
He doesn't like the online sleuth. He doesn't like it. He seems like what the hell's the word? Threatened. He seems threatened by the FBI, threatened by anybody else who's trying to do his job.
things that we know we can already dispute go in one pile, things that are just absolutely ludicrous and absurd.
I would like to see what his definition of ludicrous. Like, what is ludicrous? I would like to know what he means by that. I would like to see what items he has in that pile.
You know, going into another, and then the ones we think are valuable.
Do you have to vet like every single tip that comes in, or?
They get vetted, yes.
Okay. Have you ruled anything out? Do you suspect?
Yes,
foul
Violet.
play?
He does seem
We
very
haven't ruled
low.
anything out, yeah. So
Did you guys do like a forensic search of the semi truck?
forensic, we've done search warrants and we've taken
Forensic? He's like, what is that? What does that mean?
items out there for forensic examination.
Okay.
Have you dusted for fingerprints,
No.
stuff like that?
No, that works really good on TV.
Oh man. It's not a good look, guys. Am I being too judgmental with Sheriff McClure? I'm not liking his attitude. And he might be right, you know. Like, we've already looked at all these things. Like, what do you think we're doing? Well, the truth is, man, we don't know what you're doing because there are no results. You have no answers, no updates. It's February 12th of 2024. Months are going it's about to turn into years. So yeah, we can sit here and listen to what you say about, oh, behind the scenes, we're doing all of these things. We are staying busy. Well, prove it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you know, in 36 years, I made one case on fingerprints.
Really?
One.
Huh.
Yeah.
He's like, yep, and it's the one case that I actually took fingerprints.
Interesting.
The problem is every time you touch something, depending on the type of surface, whether it's a porous surface, a smooth surface, or whatever, they smudge. And then if you have multiple touches on it, then, you know, then they just smudge even more and you get print on top of print and, you know, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, the truck was found. It wasn't running when it was found. Are you able to talk about whether the door was open or closed?
I don't know whether it was open or closed.
Okay, and it didn't have any like lights on or hazard lights.
My understanding was the
Yeah,
truck was
stuck up.
off and
That's a
that
good
the
word.
lights were off as well.
Okay. Now we were told that a jacket was found in a ditch on like the opposite side of the road.
That is correct.
Okay. Was there any other items that you guys found that you're able to talk about?
Well, there was a towel and a cell phone charger and a pocket knife with the code.
Okay.
So
In the pockets or next to it?
next to it.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
That's
I mean,
interesting. Kind of scattered, it seems.
And now you guys had a canine there that
mhm.
was it able to track?
It tracked to a field drive, and that was it.
I think I have an image of that field drive. Let's pull that up. Oh, actually, I have it on the maps. Let's pull that up instead. So here it is. So the dogs tracked his scent right here. Now, what are the odds? Now, what if another big ass truck pulled in here? Man, I just don't know. Hey, Cindy, coming through with a super chat. Congrats, Sleuth, on the 8K. Thank you. Yeah, we did hit 8,000 subscribers. So I want to thank everybody who's been watching, subscribing, sharing my videos, supporting my channel. Thank you guys. We're just getting started. Now, if we were dealing with the mental health situation, they would have found him. No doubt about it. No ravines to fall into, no crevasses, nothing. So shout out to Ziggy, Amelia, Cindy for sponsoring today's live stream. Thank you guys. Yeah, sarcastic touch DNA. You know, maybe you could find something in your database. Maybe a fingerprint on the door, on the passenger seat, buckle. Like, why wouldn't you dust for prints? Oh man, that guy's frustrating. But yeah, this is the area right here.
It wasn't a very long track.
Okay. Now I understand that David was late to arrive in Eagle Grove.
Right.
Are you able to say why? Why was he late?
I don't know why he was late.
Okay, so that's another fact that I forgot to mention to you guys. He was late to his drop off. He was late. What could that mean? Could that have anything to do with it? So remember, his pickup was in Eagle Grove. He stopped at the truck stop on the way out. This is where that other gentleman was found deceased. And this is where David's truck was. Now, why was he late to get his pickup here in Eagle Grove? I wonder if that's related. No, Michelle, his truck wasn't from there. Just the trailer. The trailer was from Eagle Grove. So he drove his personal truck into Eagle Grove, was late doing that. Picked up his load, stopped at a truck stop here, and was supposed to make his delivery in Sac City, but instead his truck was found here with the pig still in it. Thank you, Sparky. Thank you, Cindy. Yep, we're only getting better. We are getting better. V says, I get the mentality. I'm sure it's insane dealing with web sleuths sometimes. Oh, yeah. I mean, very persistent bunch. Bunch of unprofessional know-it-alls, right? Myself included. Especially the super unsavory ones. Oh, yeah. We all know some. Seems like an ass, though. Yeah. And I'm sure if I was able to sit down with Sheriff McClure, he could explain. That's probably exactly where he's coming from, V. And I just beg and pray that he is on the case and really following down leads and not just sitting around waiting for a tip. I mean, you can't sit around doing nothing and saying you're not going to get help from the web sleuth, social media. You're not going to get help from the FBI. We got this. Well, if you got this, what is it that you got? What do you have? Show me something. Thank you, Ziggy. His forensic knowledge seems a little lacking for an individual in his position unless he realizes evidence was not gathered to start with and is redirecting. Yeah, he might, every story has three sides. So who knows? Yep. Cindy. Well, did you do this? Did you even dust for prints, bro? Like, what are you even doing? Are you even working the forensics? Yeah, I'm sure they deal with a lot of crap. But at the same time, right? Come on, man. At least act like you're doing something.
Do you know whether he stopped anywhere before going there?
No, I can't definitively say either way.
Okay. Can you talk about when and why the DCI?
I mean, couldn't they have tracked his cell phone? Wouldn't they have known where he went? Like, did they do all that? Sheriff McClure, did you do that? Did you try that?
Became involved in the case?
We brought the DCI in on, see, he went missing on the 21st, right? So it would've
DCI is the
been
digital
that
data
next
team.
Monday.
Okay.
We brought them in. Their primary role is to
Cell phones.
assist us with digital collection and digital analyzing the digital data.
So wouldn't you know if he
and providing
stopped?
support to their intelligence bureau.
Okay, I think I know what's going on with McClure. He has information that has not been released to the public, and he's skating around that, is what I think is happening.
So, yeah.
Okay. Have you asked the FBI to assist, or is there any plans to do that?
Well, the question here's
He's like, what? What did you say? We don't talk about the FBI around here.
Somebody else asked me that today, and I know where this is going. Show me a federal nexus to a missing person.
Well, how do you
Is
know?
there a
Did you
federal
check?
crime?
Did you check?
We have no proof that they crossed state lines.
Did you check?
So at this point, no. I mean, there's not a federal nexus. You know, now does that mean that down the road they won't be asked to assist us? But you know, the Division of Criminal Investigation and their resources are just as capable of getting the information we need. And really, we're looking for the proverbial needle in a haystack. All we know is this semi was here, and we know the last time we have him on video. Unless you have a crystal ball.
See, what the hell? Why? Is that how you're conducting your investigations? This is what I have. You see it. You know, can you do a better job? Like, I just don't get this attitude. It's frustrating.
And you've searched over 100,000 square acres. Where do you go?
Mm-hmm. Now,
Makes
You go to social media. Makes sense?
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to the FBI. You release information to social media. You do a press conference. Whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you release more information slowly. What are you doing?
You know, I mean, there's only so much we can do. And that's the sad reality. There's only so much we can do. You know, I mean, I believe that if there was some sort of foul play or nefarious activity, whoever's responsible for this is watching. They're watching what we're putting out. They're watching what we're saying. They're watching the news outlets. They're watching the interviews Mrs. Schultz is doing. They're watching her posts. So, you know.
Let me run that back. So he thinks somebody is responsible for this.
They're watching what we're saying. They're watching the news outlets. They're watching the interviews Mrs. Schultz is doing. They're watching her posts. So, you know, just because it looks like we're not doing something, because we're not telling you what we're doing, is far from the truth.
I hope so.
I guess, is there any possibility that it may have been some sort of medical event?
Godspeed,
and,
McClure.
You know, his
Godspeed.
remains just haven't been found yet? Do you think it's possible to have missed them?
You know, the area the semi was found was searched at least 3 different times. Twice by law enforcement firefighters and at least once by the United Cajun Navy. Now,
United Cajun Navy is the one who found Mark Reisberg. So I don't think we're dealing with some kind of mental breakdown, mental situation causing him to just stop and wander and just walk. Because we know a lot of these cases, some folks will walk and walk and walk.
is it possible? Absolutely. I'm very confident in not only our ability, but the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigations. We have some dedicated, hardworking men and women working on this relentlessly.
Good comment, Devoted. To the killer. You want to know what we know, and one day you will. Sure, buddy. All theatrics. I mean, I really do hope what he's saying is true and that there's just a whole lot of information and he's just not able to finesse that part of it all as well as some do, like a Doug Carter with the Delphi case. So him holding back information and then following that up by saying, hey, even his wife Sarah's talking. I can't put out this information because whoever hurt David, they're also watching. We have to protect this case. So anybody following the Delphi murder should understand that now more than ever, because now they're in the trial side of it all, right? Everything they tried to explain to us on the investigation side and the fact that they're only halfway done with this fight. Now the other half is the trial part. So if they didn't get any of this stuff right during the investigation, the trial part could completely fall apart. So they have to deal with that also. But I still believe that they need to be held accountable, criticized, all of the above. These are public servants that we're dealing with. This isn't Mr. Hotshot who runs the sheriff department. He's Mr. Hotshot who was put in charge by a public to do a job. It's that simple.
And regardless of what the chatter is, we're going to run this out till we just can't run it anymore, until we can either find out what happened to David or where he's at and bring him home, or give some answers. So the fact that we're not talking about it a whole lot, we're just not going to do it.
There's only so much you can do. That was frustrating to hear him say that. I don't know. I'm a firm believer in the whole social media and how it can affect these cases. Okay, now here's the truck stop. And if you notice here, the date was September 2022, and this wasn't even built yet. But by the time he went missing, it was up and running. See, marker 26 is the name of the truck stop. Coming soon. And these are all construction workers back here. Gas station's not even open. See, there's no gas prices. But when he went missing, this was up and running. All right. Because of time, let's go ahead and jump over to Mark Risberg, sorry.
Tonight at 6 with breaking news regarding one of two men missing from eastern Siouxland. Authorities in Calhoun County say they received a call about 1:30 this afternoon that sent them to the 1700 block of 230th Street near Jolly, Iowa. That's where the body of 54-year-old Mark Risberg of Rockwell City was found in a car in a wooded, abandoned area. The preliminary findings suggest he died of a single gunshot wound, and foul play is not suspected. Risberg's body has been sent to the state medical examiner's office for an autopsy. The sheriff's office in Calhoun County says it was assisted by the United Cajun Navy during the initial response. That group still helping in the search for a man from Wall Lake, David Schultz, who's been missing for nearly 2 weeks now.
Shout out to that group. Seems like they do really good work. Mark Risberg. Now, it seems like they're not convinced that he hurt himself, so I don't know what that's all about.
We are following some breaking news tonight on the search for one of two missing men in northwest Iowa. The body of Mark Risberg has been found. Local 5's Megan McPherson is here. She has been working the phones to find out some more for us. Megan, what's the latest?
Yes, Stephanie, just after 5 p.m. this evening, the Calhoun County...
Yeah, Michelle, that was a great theory. Let's go to this comment. One of my theories is that he didn't get along with somebody where he went to pick up the pigs. They could have hurt him and drove his truck to the location it was found. Well, the only issue with that is he was caught on camera, and I guess they could still be with him in his truck at that time, but he was on camera at the truck stop after the pickup. But yeah, somebody could have been there inside of his vehicle. Maybe even somebody he knew.
Sheriff sent out a news release confirming 54-year-old Mark Reisberg was found dead in his car earlier this afternoon. Now, we've been following the active search for Reisberg, who's been missing since late October. Nonprofit United Cajun Navy, which has been coordinating search efforts for both Reisberg and another missing man in the area, told me they discovered Reisberg's body just before 2 p.m. today. According to the United Cajun Navy, Reisberg's body was found in Jolly, which is northwest of his home in Rockwell City. I did speak to Reisberg's sister earlier this week about the disappearance of her brother, which has been consuming the family for weeks.
Besides Carroll, Sac, and Calhoun County, really doesn't go anywhere else. It's not much. He just mostly a homebody, just working home. So I can't see him intentionally wanting to go anywhere.
Reisberg was missing for a total of 35 days before his body was found. Authorities do not suspect foul play in Reisberg's death, and their preliminary findings indicate Reisberg died of a, quote, single gunshot wound. As for the other missing man, the United Cajun Navy is still searching for David Schultz, who has been missing for 10 days. Crews will continue their search for Schultz throughout the weekend. Stephanie.
Yeah, so I think if it was some kind of a mental or bad reaction to drugs or anything like that, they would have found him. Let me see if I have the map for where they located Mr. Reisberg here. I believe I do. Yeah. So 710 230th Street. So I think this is it. Yeah, that's it. And Mark Reisberg was from, or worked in Lytton. I think he lived in Sac City. And he was found right here. I think he was actually found in this property right here. So I don't know if they're connected. I mean, that's really strange. This was the search for David. Looks like this is where they set up their base camp. And I think he was found just up the street here. Well, his vehicle anyway. A little bit of the timeline. Left to deliver the pigs November 20th at 7 p.m. Left the pig confinement at 10:50 p.m. Reported missing around 2:23 p.m. November 21st, the following day. Truck was found almost an hour later that same day. All right, guys, I have a whole handful of videos and things like that, but we are running out of time. We have 15 more minutes, so I want to spend the rest of this time with the chat. And we'll pull up some photos of David. Actually, we have 10 minutes, sorry. So David John Schultz, he should be about age 53. He was born in September of 1970. I didn't hear anything about tattoos or identifying marks or anything like that. Yeah, he seems like a very nice person. His wife says he came home, showered, gave her a kiss, and was anxious to get this load over with. He was going to go do the load, come back. He had family coming into town. That never happened. Violet Dragon says, the only thing I can think of is that someone staged this abduction. Devoted. We found Ron Logan. He's hiding in Iowa. He's got the thick white stash. Yeah, there's no way he's leaving his boys, huh? Man, that truck is sharp. He didn't leave his family. This is a killer. I agree. Killer or killers? Looks like grayish brown, maybe brownish red hair. Thinning on the top. I don't think so either. They would have found him. And I don't think he would have picked up those pigs. Like, why would he go out and create another headache? Close bodies of water. I'm not sure. Let's go back to the map here. We didn't zoom out too far, did we? No, this is a drainage ditch. Very small. Looks like for farmers. They can tap into it. What is this, a lake here? Looks like it's in the middle of a city, though. Storm Lake. Yeah, that's really it. Storm Lake's not too far at all. And it's in the direction he was going. Yeah, this place is nice. Violet says, I feel so sorry for this man and his family. What the F? I can't wrap my head around it. And what's with this leaving your cell phone and your purse or your wallet behind? I mean, to me, that's just, I think it's evidence that you were that somebody took you. All of these cases that we cover, that's what happens. Cell phone and wallet are left behind. And why the cell phone? because nobody wants to be tracked when they're abducting somebody. So no interest in the cell phone. They don't have any interest in the money because that's not their motivation. They have a personal vendetta, maybe. Or even, remember, guys, there's sickos that will abduct people and do a lot of weird things. You know, we hear about all these women who are kept in dungeons, in basements and things like that. Bad things happen to men too. Yeah, I agree. They might need to go take a look in this lake. It is in the direction that he pulled off of. Yeah, it's not very far at all. It seems very public, though. Like, there's not really any way to get out to the lake. Looks like you got places like this. There's a road out here. Oh, yeah, you can get back here. Look. You might want to check back here for sure. Yeah, they might want to put some search efforts back in here, huh? Sparky says, my husband's trucks all have cameras inside of them. Yeah, I think they have to. Isn't that like part of being a truck driver? They have to be able to check in on you, or you have to, like, they force you to pull over at certain times because you've been on the road too long. And I think that's good. No worries, Boston. No worries. All right, guys, we're getting ready to close her out. If there's anything you want to add. Yeah, they don't want that cell phone. People are always saying that about other cases. Why didn't they take the cell phone? Because they don't want to be tracked. Sensei, that's funny. Tell your friend to watch too. Thank you, Devoted. I appreciate that. I love you guys too. Yeah, that lake is massive. Yeah, I'm sure it did, Sparky. I think you have to. All right, guys. I really want to hear from all you truck drivers, family members of truck drivers, anybody that's involved in that business. Let me know what you thought about today's live stream. Please add any information, correct any of the information that you can. Family members, friends of David, or even Mark, feel free to correct us. We're always willing to do follow-ups if we need to correct any information. We are in the process of doing that with one of our True Crime in the Morning episodes as we speak. So stay tuned to that. And that's going to be it, guys. So if you know anything, remember the number to dial is in the description. Doesn't matter how small the tip is, how minute you think the piece of information might be, it could be extremely helpful. And as pompous as Mr. Sheriff McClure might seem, it seems like he's doing his job, and let's just hope he gets some results, and hopefully he'll change his mind about social media and web sleuths and understand that we can't help and we want to help, but we can be a little overzealous at times. So you guys take care. I'll see you guys again real soon.